are taking care of yourself and all of this. Peace and blessings. We are here today. What about her? What about her? What about her? We are here for the Justice for Women Task Force rally. Thank you for joining us from wherever you are in the country, in the world. We are grateful to you. But we are here to learn and listen to the stories of the intersectional place in the life of people, specifically women who come in contact with brutality and violence of police and corrections officers around the country, specifically in New York. We have 3 New York spots. We're here to talk about police and corrections brutality waged against Black women and girls and Black trans throughout this country, but specifically in New York. I'm going to get us started with a poem by the Dr. Angela Davis. Anymore, Dr. Angela Davis. You say that you love me. You say that you're here. You say that I am not alone, that I don't have to be anymore. Where are you when I'm lonely? Where are you when I'm scared? Where are you when I need you? You're most certainly not here anymore. I know that I'm weak. I know that I'm scared. I know that I'm nothing. You're most certainly not here anymore. I'm other than alone anymore. Do you care what I feel? Do you care what I want? Do you care what I need? It doesn't matter anymore. By the Dr. Angela Davis, who is herself a formerly incarcerated woman. This rally is being led by formerly incarcerated women. Power to the people, power to women. We have 3 rallies going on around New York, Rockland County. The moderator there is Cheryl Wilkins. Power to the people. All right, Cheryl, who is from the Center of Justice at Columbia University, and Reverend Sharon White Harrigan, the Executive Director of the Women's Community Justice Association. Thank you, my sisters. Long Island, Nassau County, all right, Long Island. Tracy Bowman is the moderator there. She's an Emerge graduate. And finally, but not least, of course, Manhattan, NYC. And our moderator there is Donna Hilton, who's from an author and activist of Little Piece of Light, also formerly incarcerated herself. Rusty Miller Hill, Women's Health and Criminal Justice Reform, as well as a blogger. I will put this information in the chat box. I will be your moderator today on Zoom. Again, thank you for joining us. We will be watching and seeing what's going on at the rallies. Please look in your chat box for information that I'll put there. We will be doing chants at the rallies. I'll put those in the chat box as well. If you have any questions, please put those in the chat box. And please also donate to us. This is the first rally of a series of rallies to bring forth the importance of Black women and girls and Black trans who are brutalized, victimized, killed by police and corrections officers. Black Lives Matter, say her name, we fight for her. What about her? What about her? What about her? I'm gonna leave it to our tech. Lindsay, you're gonna take us out to Rockland County first?
Good morning, community. We are here out in Rockland County, here to lift up the names and to honor the women who have died from police and correctional brutality. And we are here with the family and friends and the community of one Tina Davis, who was killed right here in Spring Valley in January 2020. But let's talk, community, because we know that it just didn't start in 2020. We know that so for a very long time, since the beginning of time, that women have been brutalized and killed. Since biblical times, women have been stoned, right, for minor infractions. Slavery, women have been ripped away from their families. They have been lynched. They have been beaten to death. They have been taken so that they can take care of other families and killed behind it. So it just didn't start now. We're talking about Eleanor Bumpers. Let's go all the way back when she was killed. Let's go a little bit further when Fannie Lou Hamer was almost beaten to death by police because she was a civil rights activist. So we're here today to uplift the women. And we know that they have just found another way to keep us in bondage, to keep us in slavery, and they call it policing and the correctional system. They found a new way on removing women and tearing them away from their families. So we're here today to uplift the women, almost 400, and these are the names that we know of. But we're here because we want to know in Spring Valley what happened to Tina Davis.
Good morning, good people. And we want to thank Spring Valley for inviting us up here to uplift Tina Davis' name. Why haven't we heard her name out there in the news is what we want to know. We want to know, what about Tina Davis? Does her life not matter? Does her life not matter? What about her? What about her? She can't breathe either. You know what I'm saying? You can't taser nobody to death and think we ain't coming for you. We here, and this is just the first, this is the beginning, because we're not going to stop. I mean, we are resilient, and we're going to keep coming. We're going to keep coming, and we're going to keep coming till you recognize what you're doing to our sisters out here. Treat us like the queens that we are. Don't act like our lives don't matter, because we do matter. Now, today, what we're going to do is that we're not only going to uplift the women here, we're going to uplift the women across, not just New York State, but across the country. You understand? Because everybody's lives matter. It shouldn't have been George Floyd death to happen before we knew about other women who had passed away. So we want to say, yo, we here to stay. We not going nowhere, and y'all better do something, because we coming. We are coming.
We're coming.
So today we have the pleasure of having Tina Davis' husband here. You know what I'm saying? And he is a proud man. We met him and he was in tears. And we was like, we here for you, brother. We here for your daughter. We here for your son. We here for your community, because we know what it is. All right? So without further ado, here's Vincent. Woo, woo!
She can't breathe. Who can't breathe? She can't breathe. Who can't breathe?
She can't breathe. I am Tina Davis. 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 Tina Davis was murdered by the Spring Valley Police Department. Tasered to death while she was in handcuffs. Governor Cuomo, can you hear me? This is inside your own backyard. In your backyard, New York. January, before the coronavirus, before a few other people who died, Tina Davis got murdered by the Spring Valley Police Department, January 3rd to the 5th.
What happened to Tina?
She was tasered to death while in handcuffs. Handcuffs, numerous times. This was inside the backyard. Governor Cuomo, can you hear me? Where are you? Where are you?
Justice for Tina.
Justice for Tina! Justice for Tina! Justice for Tina! Justice for Tina! Now, if you think that was horrible, let's look at a few things and stuff about a few different things that happened. You know, I got this thing called a FOIA report. That's evidence. Tina Davis called the police 3 times before this incident even
Hi, everybody. I just let them know their audio cut. Hang on for me.
Okay, while we're waiting for the audio, please look in the chat box so you can know about Tina Davis. Say her name, say her name. What about her? You don't hear Tina Davis's story. Vincent Davis is her husband. Tina also left behind a teenage daughter who we have gotten to know as well. Vincent is fighting to make sure that his beloved wife, who was killed by Spring Valley Police Department, gets justice. He and his family want justice just like everyone else. What about her? What about her? We have not heard Tina Davis's story before. Vincent is being strong today. As Cheryl told you, he came to us in tears and let us know that his story has not been told and his wife's story has not been told. We need justice for Tina. Justice for Tina. Go, Vincent.
Justice for Tina! 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 Now, Governor Cuomo, we are in New York, your backyard. Demonstrations is happening all over. We are everywhere.
Okay, everyone, I think we lost audio again. Lindsay, you want to let them know?
Already on it.
Okay, thanks. Justice for Tina, like I said, Vincent is her husband, and she left behind a teenage daughter. This was in January of this year, before COVID. No one's talked about her story. No one really knows about her story. They can't get anyone to respond to their requests. Go, Vincent, tell your story. Justice for Tina.
Justice for Tina! Justice for Tina! Justice for Tina! The Spring Valley Department need to be held accountable for what happened. This has been a cover-up now for 6 or 7 months. Governor Cuomo, where are you? And if you ain't gonna do nothing, President Trump, we call on you too. We demand answers. We demand justice. We demand to be heard. Can you hear me? Hear me. Now, Tina called out for help. The dispatcher never sent the police car. He had to be held accountable for that. The officers who responded later on had to be held accountable for. They were supposed to be suspended on administration leave. We have found out that they are still on the force. Still on the force. So they have no regard for Black Lives Matter. No regard. Governor Cuomo, hear me wrong. No regard for Black Lives Matter. The officers is back on the force. Back on. It's supposed to be an investigation. Attorney General's office. This has been back since January. January. But nobody knew about Tina Davis' story. Nobody. Because they kept it hidden. They tried to keep me silent. They tried to strangle me. I can't breathe. I'm calling on the whole planet, the whole United States. Justice for Tina. 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 Governor Cuomo, you hear us? We are coming back again and 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 again, non-stop, until we get justice for Tina. We will. And if you won't do nothing, President Donald Trump, I know you're watching this video too. Somebody in the White House says, you are a New Yorker too. We want justice for Tina. Justice for Tina. Justice for Tina. Justice for Tina.
Justice for Tina. We gonna
Change the narrative. Lift her up so she can live. We gonna change the narrative. Lift her up so she can live. And she will live. She will live. We will keep the memory. Tina Davis was handcuffed. Governor Cuomo, you hear me? Handcuffed. And she was tased repeatedly. Blood was coming out of every exit hole. She was brain dead when they took her to the hospital. Finally took her to the hospital. She was brain dead.
Justice for Tina.
Justice for Tina. Justice for Tina. Justice for Tina. Justice for Tina. Finally took her to the hospital. And when they took her to the hospital, now the cover up. The Spring Valley Police Department told the family, because we rushed to the hospital, Tina Davis don't want no visitors. Tina Davis was already brain dead. Where are you, Governor Cuomo? Where are you? We demand answers. Demand answers. Justice for Tina. Justice for Tina. Justice for Tina.
Justice for Tina. Justice for Tina. Justice for Tina.
The Spring Valley Police Department failed to do their job. They failed to answer the cries of a woman asking for help. Instead, she was murdered. 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 When we put down animals, they tie them up before they kill them. But even dogs and cats, they get a peaceful death. Not Tina. She was murdered repeatedly. Repeatedly tased. Brain dead. Blood coming out of every exit hole. Where are you, Governor Cuomo? Answer us. Answer us. That's it.
I am Tina.
I am Tina. I am Tina. I am Tina. I am Tina. I am Tina.
I am Tina. And so we're saying that we're tired of being dehumanized and devalued. And we're tired of being disrespected and diminished. We want answers. We want to know what happened to Tina Davis. We want to know what happened to Tina Davis. What about her? Because she can't breathe either. Justice for Tina. Justice for Tina. Justice for Tina.
Tina. Justice for Tina.
Justice for Tina.
Hello, Spring Valley. We are here to represent not only Tina Davis, but Breonna Taylor, Eleanor Bumpers, all the women who have died in police custody and correctional custody. I'm here as a child of a parent who was incarcerated for almost 25 years for a crime he didn't commit. His name was Eddie Ellis. Yeah! My father was part of the Attica uprising to bring human services, humanity to people in prison. Traveling from Attica to Greenhaven to Sing Sing to Woodbourne, I've been to all of those prisons, and they're inhumane. Free our elders, free the women who are incarcerated, Free people who, even if they are convicted of violent offenses and serve 15, 20, 30, 40 years, let them go. Let them go.
Let them go. Let them go. Let them go. Let them go. Let them go. Let them go.
We want freedom. We want justice. We want equality. Black lives matter. Children need their mothers. Children need their family. When women get sent to prison, the whole family is impacted. The whole family gets destroyed. Some of the kids going into the foster care system. We need our mothers. Justice for the women. Thank you.
Who can't breathe? Who can't breathe? We can't breathe. Who can't breathe? She can't breathe. Who can't breathe? She can't breathe. She can't breathe. She can't breathe. She can't breathe. Can't breathe. So
Who
now
can't breathe?
we're gonna go to another region. We going to Long Island now? Or we're going to Long Island now to hear what's happening out there, because this is not just happening in Rockland County. This is not just happening in the state of New York. This is happening not even just in this country. It's happening all over the world. But guess what? We leading that charge in abusing women. And so we have to stop that, because we're going to change the narrative. Lift her up so she can live. We're going to change the narrative.
We're going to change the narrative. Lift her up so she can live.
Let's go, Serena. Let's see what's going on in Long Island.
All right now, thank you, Cheryl. We're out Long Island. Tracy Bowman. All right, Long Island, you're up. All right, Long Island.
We will bet women's murders got men. We will go. We will bet women's murders, not just men. We will go. We will bet women's murders, not just men. We will go. We will bet women's murders, not just men. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tracy Bowman, and I'm from New Hour, and we're here with everybody from Strong Island. And today we're here for women's rights. I just want to read something right quick. Elizabeth Stanton, on May 28, 2017, died in Nassau County Jail because she hadn't gotten her blood pressure medication for multiple times after her arrest, despite the court officials putting treatment requests in her record. I'm just going to let y'all sit down for a minute. So today we're petitioning out here. What about her? She's not here. What about her? What about her? Elizabeth Stanton. What about her? What about her? Brianna. What about her? What about her? What about her? Moving right along, we have Serena, the director of New Hours.
Thank you for joining us today. We are here with dozens of Long Islanders to call out what is happening in jails and prisons and for women in custody across New York State and throughout the country. What we know is that women behind bars suffer indignities, assaults, rapes, and ultimate death when they are behind bars, and this has to end today. One of the things we are calling on our lawmakers, Department of Corrections and Community Supervision, and our community members. We've remembered and honored the name of George Floyd. What about Layleen Polanco? What about her? What about Lulu Benson? What about Pamela Turner? What about Elizabeth Stenson, who died at this facility behind us in 2017 because they did not give her her high blood pressure medication? There was no reason for her to die on that day, and yet she did. And what we know is that 9 out of 10 women behind bars are survivors of abuse. We know that women suffer incredible, inhumane, and humiliating circumstances when it comes to pat prints, when it comes to privacy, when it comes to medical exams. We stand here as women who have been directly impacted. We stand here with our sisters who are hurt and victimized by the system, and we say no more. Women continue to be treated without dignity and humanity. And in our communities, it's okay. We hear catcalls, we see gropings, we have things happen, and those things happen behind bars. It's not okay, and it needs to stop today. We are calling on those of us who care about racism on Long Island, segregation on Long Island, the death of George Floyd, brutality by police officers, brutality by corrections officers. We call on everyone who cares about Black lives to care about Black lives who are incarcerated. We believe that people deserve to be accountable if they have committed a crime, but we do not believe people should be tortured, should be victimized, should be killed, should be assaulted, should be raped because they are incarcerated. I would like to turn it over now to our next speaker, Julie Gray Owens. We will go. We will be.
Okay.
Murdered, not just men. We will go. We will be. Women murdered, not just men. We will go. We will be. Women murdered, not just men. Who can't breathe? She can't breathe. Who can't breathe? She can't breathe. Who can't breathe? She can't breathe.
Good morning. I'm Julie Gray Owens, Executive Director of Gender Equality New York, a statewide transgender, non-binary, and intersex advocacy organization. I'm here today to speak about the treatment transgender and non-binary people face in our prisons and jails. When one of our community members are placed in incarceration, they face not only the penalty of incarceration, but daily humiliation and horrific physical and sexual abuse. Before we talk about incarceration, let's talk about why many of our community members end up in jail and prisons. Because of rampant employment and housing discrimination, transgender and non-binary people face social disparities that include unemployment, food insecurity, trauma, unstable housing. Many are forced to participate in survival sex work and drug sales for food or a place to sleep. And as we all understand, people who are poor are more likely to end up behind bars. Trans and non-binary people are more likely to be stopped and questioned by police and face high-level harassment, profiling, and abuse by law enforcement officers. From a transgender national survey, respondents who were incarcerated at more than twice the rate of the general population. The rate was several times higher among transgender people of color. Nearly 1 in 10 Black transgender women were incarcerated in the previous year, 10 times the rate of the general population. Once our people are sent to prison, the horrors begin. Many correction facilities still house transgender people strictly according to their genital anatomy. According to the national survey, 20% of those incarcerated reported sexual assault by staff or other incarcerated people. According to a U.S. Bureau of Statistics report, transgender people were 5 times more likely to be sexually assaulted by facility staff than the general population, and 9 times more likely to be sexually assaulted by other incarcerated people. If jail and prison officials realize the danger of housing our people according to their birth sex, they will instead place them in protective custody, which is in fact solitary confinement. These individuals are then given little or no activity or human contact, which can cause serious psychological harm. Solitary confinement also increases the risk of assault by correction officers. Some facilities may deny access to gender-appropriate clothing or grooming items and punish community members for attempting to express their gender identity. Many New York facilities do not have policies for providing hormone therapy and other transition-related care. Those who are already undergoing hormone therapy may be abruptly taken off their needed treatment. Our community members also experience misgendering, transphobic comments, inadequate medical and mental health care, harassment and assaults both by staff and other incarcerated people. As a result of these issues, transgender and non-binary people leave custody substantially more damaged than when they entered. We urge county and state officials to protect incarcerated trans and non-binary New Yorkers by passing legislation that will provide safe housing, trained staff, access to gender-aligned programming, commissary items, clothing, and other materials that are consistent with their gender identity and establish the right to be searched by officers of the same gender identity. Only then can we be sure our people will be safe. Thank you.
What about her? 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 Next we have Pamela Neely, Long Island Social Action Network Coordinator and formerly incarcerated. Pamela? Give it up for Pam!
Hi, my name is Pamela Neely, and I stand behind a jail that I spent the majority of my life in. I know firsthand what the conditions are that are in there. It was horrible. And yet I continue to go. I'm not a bad person. I just made bad choices. And all these women that we're standing out here today for are not bad people. And half of them didn't make bad choices. But whatever the case was, they did not deserve to die like that. And we stand out here not only in their memory, but for their families. And as long as I got breath in my body, I'm never going to stop fighting for them. That's right. I'm never going to stop fighting for people's rights. Because we're incarcerated doesn't mean we have to be treated like we're animals. We are human beings and we deserve the same dignity and respect that they expect us to give them. What's her name? Say her name. They need to know that we still love them and that we're fighting with everything in us for them in their memory. Thank you.
Say her name. What about her? 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 Next we have, and I don't want to mess up where you work, so I'm going to let you say it yourself. I know her name is Letitia Morris. Here you go.
That's right, Letitia. Women Transcending at the Center for Justice. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
We are here today for justice for women behind bars, dignity for incarcerated women. We're here today to let these women in this facility, Nassau Correctional Jail, to let them know that we are here, we stand with them. Today, we're experiencing a shift. And we're here. What about her? We need to bring justice to these issues. Justice for Layleen Polanco. Justice for Sandra Bland, Pamela Turner, Breonna Taylor. Her killers are still free. They are still employed. They have not been charged. They have not been held accountable. Today, what about her? What about her? Did you know 34% of police sexual misconduct takes place in context of a traffic stop? Ultimately leading to jail or prison. Over 400 cases of sexual violence. Only 25% of police officers, face any type of repercussion. What is that about? What about her? When do we get justice? We are here to bring attention to this issue. We are experiencing a shift today. A shift. Things need to change. And we are here to bring attention to these issues. Over 400 cases, and only 25% of police officers face any type of repercussion. That is a ridiculous statistic. What about her?
Say her name.
What about her?
Say her name.
What about her? What about her?
Pamela Turner.
What about her?
Breonna Taylor.
What about her?
Sandra Bland.
What about her? What about her?
Layleen Polanco.
And what about them? We're here
Thank you.
Yeah, Lakeisha.
We will go, we will bend. Women's murder, not just men. We will go, we will bend. Women's murder, not just men. We will go, we will bend. Women's murder is not just men. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What about her? 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 Say her name. Just.
You okay?
Next up is Ivy Lee.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for representing. Thank you for not being socialized into silence. And this is what this country has been doing. But we are fracturing that silence along the spine. And I'm excited about that. I'm also outraged. Look at this list. They are killing us. These are our sisters. This is our community. And we are criminalized, brutalized, silenced, and ultimately murdered. What about her? Say her name. Police officers are charged with 45 rapes per year in New York City and 625 instances of fondling. Now 60 to 80% go unreported. When I was held in captivity, I collected a lot of stories inside from my sisters. And rarely I heard somebody that did not experience some police brutality, some law enforcement misconduct. Systems have failed us and we do not need it. Our communities can take care of themselves.
That's right.
And when I say law enforcement, I mean all entities and agencies of law enforcement. From the guards, COs, to your police officers, and anybody that works from a paint dry theory. We have been punished enough. Incarceration is a tool of slavery. Law enforcement is an aftermath of slavery. Let's get it straight. We need to really amplify the voices of women, of Black women. Exactly. Say it, sister. Today, your silence is not enough. So stand with us. Say it now. We come here on silence and unapologetically. What about her? Police target the most marginalized for their sexual violence. Those that are considered police property. What does that remind you of? Police property. Typically women of color, those perceived to be involved with drugs and sex work, those with parents with prior records, so it becomes intergenerational property. Immigrants, people who speak English as a second language, people with disabilities, those who have previously been target of police sexual abuse, and the most targeted and marginalized are Black trans folks and girls. What about her? In New York City, almost 2 in 5 young women describe some sexual harassment by police officers. 38% Black, 39% Brown Latinx, 18 Asian, Pacific Islander. We come here not to ask,
I did not come here to ask or to just solicit. I come here to demand that the women's voices, those that are murdered, be put also at the forefront. We women are the spine of our communities. We women hold immense power. Do not put us on the sidelines and leave us out of a conversation that is also us. Thank you. I hope that you feel my outrage because it is intended to be felt. This is something very personal, and it is something that we need to tackle as a whole. Who can't breathe? She can't breathe. Who can't breathe? She can't breathe. Thank you, sis. You're welcome.
What about her? What about her? What about her? What about her?
We're gonna go to New York.
What
New
about
York
her?
City.
What about her? Thank you, my sister. Next up, we have Tina. Okay.
Yeah, Tina.
All right. My name is Tina Tynan. I drove here from Westchester this morning because I'm not going to forget about these women. I'm concerned about those women inside. We're held under horrific conditions. It's days like this that I think about when I was stuck in solitary confinement and all I had was tap water at room temperature. And when they're putting transgender women in what they're calling protective custody, it's solitary confinement. Okay? I'm not going to forget about these women. I'm demanding, I'm begging, I'm pleading that we raise awareness and stop the, I was going to say stop the bullshit, but I'm sorry. But like I said, what goes on is wrong, and we go to prison, but the thing is we're not getting life sentences. We come home and we're ostracized from the community. I'm standing here today as proof that we're not disposable people. I just graduated with my bachelor's degree from Hunter College. And you need to let these women out, and you need to let them get on with their lives, not housing discrimination and job discrimination and all the other challenges that we go through. And that's all I want to say.
Who can't breathe? Who can't breathe? Being in the spite of time, I want to give the mic to Danielle from New Hour.
Thank you. We're here to give voice to our fallen sisters. Let us remember after this rally is over and we're in living our lives that we have lost. We have lost generations. We have lost many women that could have risen to do wonderful things in our community, and they're lost. They weren't doing anything but living their lives in their houses, playing video games with their nephew, sleeping. These are things that we must keep in mind to raise the conversation about our sisters. It is what about her? Please remember that. Thank you.
Who can't breathe? Who can't breathe? Who can't breathe?
Pamela Turner.
What about her?
Turner.
What about her?
Jojo Bland.
What about her?
Lulu Benson.
What about her?
Lillian Polanco. Conclude, right?
We're gonna have Serena take us into the next event.
Thank you for standing with us. We're going to continue to call on our communities to change the way women are treated inside and outside of facilities. We are here and we're going to keep fighting. We are here to fight for her. We 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 fight for her. And Dara, we'll hand it back to you to take us us out from here. We have balloons to release in memory of Elizabeth Stenson and others. And no longer will we stand by while women are assaulted, victimized, abused, raped, and killed in our facilities. No longer.
Thank you, Serena. What about her? What about her? What about her? Now we're going to go into New York City, where we have moderated by Donna Hilton, A Little Piece of Light. And Rusty Miller Hill, I'm trying to see where they are. What about her? We fight for her. Thank you guys for staying with us. Thank you for all your help and your support. We want to get their stories out, the women's stories, the Black trans women, women and girls stories out that have not been told. I'm trying to see if we can get audio.
Just let her know.
There we go.
Who died in the police hands? Okay. Who died in the hands of the police because they didn't know she had a mental health issue, right? I don't want to, because I want somebody to hear me. I got a big mouth, for real. And I don't want to hear through somebody's phone.
This is unmuted. This is unmute. So they only hear you through this.
Okay. All right. So I'm sorry, I'm going to start again because I was handed a microphone. I don't like microphones because literally I do have a big mouth, right? And I'm grateful for it. So as I was saying, I want to call out the name of my sister mother, Eleanor Bumper, who died in the 80s while I was still inside. She died in the hands of police. You know, we always look at what happens to the brothers. We support the brothers, but who brings up the names of our sisters? And I'm here today to do just that. She's just one of many. Our most newest sister, Breonna Taylor. Why are we not screaming her name to the top of our lungs? Breonna Taylor! Breonna Taylor! Eleanor Bumper! We should be calling these names every day, all day. And everybody should be able to hear and know why they're gone. Tina Davis, one of the quietest, most kept situations in New York State. Where we at? We're in New York City. New York State is a part of this city. And we need to know what's happening across our state. We need to bring these voices to the people who can make the change that need to be made. So who can't breathe? Who can't breathe? Who can't breathe? So I'm just saying, I'm here today to talk a little bit about that and about the impact of violence on women in general. So as I said, my name is Anissa Sabor. I coordinate the Coalition for Women's Prisoners. I've been doing this work for the last 15 years to free our sisters from a system that is oppressive, utilizing, and dehumanizing of all women, mostly women of color. So I don't know how much time I got, but I can stand here and tell you a whole lot of stories that I heard one-on-one from the women on the inside, right? You know, we talk about all of the things that happen to women by police, but correctional officers use the same dehumanizing, brutalization tactics on women who are incarcerated because they have that authority on the inside. We need to speak up and speak out and save our sisters so they can have the opportunity to breathe like we breathe. I can breathe. Who can't breathe? She can't breathe. I can breathe. Who can't breathe? She can't breathe. And so I'm going to end with saying this, that this is one day of many to come. I look forward to seeing all of you out here with us to bring about change for her. 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 So all my sisters will have the opportunity to breathe. Thank you.
Who can't breathe? Who can't breathe? No justice. No justice. What about her? What about her? We're here because we're tired. We're here because we're tired of being hurt. We're here
because we're tired of being murdered. We're here because we're tired. We are done. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. We want Cuomo to hear that we are tired. We are tired. We are tired of you killing us. We are tired of you turning your backs to our murders, to our rapes, to you brutalizing us. We are tired of you coming into our communities and killing our men and killing our women and killing our children. This little one right here deserves a life, deserves a future. She deserves to live. We are tired of you taking our children and murdering our children. We are tired of you hurting our children. She deserves to live. 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 Come on, somebody. Bringing your baby out here, let know the truth. Darlene. Yeah, you were running for council. Come on.
Oh my God, what am I gonna say? Holy shit. I have no idea.
Technical difficulties.
All right, while they're getting that together, everyone. There you go. Street Can't Breathe. They're in New York City in front of Governor Cuomo's offices on 3rd Avenue in New York. If you know New York.
Okay.
Governor Cuomo has been quiet, has been silent. He has released our women from the prison. We have to stop this. All right,
Yes.
go.
And so I stand here with my sisters, and as one of them was saying, the child welfare system is no different than our criminal justice system. My mother was criminalized because of her drug addiction, and because of that, me and my siblings cycled into the foster care system, and many of my siblings entered into the prison system themselves, and homelessness, sexually abused, raped, and they still dealing with that trauma to this very day. It has destroyed, it has impacted my family so deeply. And this is why it's so important for us to really put our investments in women, because at the end of the day, when women thrive, families and communities thrive. And so it's time for us to really center the voice and experience of women. And it's time for us to do that now. There's 161 women on Rikers Island right now. And I know today we are talking about the women who have lost their lives to police brutality and correctional officers behind the walls. But we have to think about the ones who's still living, the ones who's not going to become another hashtag or say her name, or the Black Lives Woman. There's 160 women on Rikers right now. That makes absolutely no sense. Where's the urgency for our city elected officials? Where are they? Where are they? COVID-19 has exploited the failed policies and disinvestment in our community for far too long, because we have complicit elected officials that done nothing for Black and brown communities. And there's no reason why for any woman to be detained on Rikers Island right now. They could be in the communities receiving services. And so please, I wish they're listening right now, because right now what they did with the city budget is an epic failure of what they did about, they don't value Black lives. They absolutely do not. And they should be ashamed of themselves, every single one of them. Because if you're really about investing about Black and brown communities, they wouldn't have passed the budget. So it was an epic failure, I'm sorry. And so the work doesn't stop right here. As we say, I hope we leave here, take that shit to City Hall, and continue this fight until we get the services that we truly deserve as human beings. Thank you.
She can't breathe, but we can vote. We can vote. She can vote. She can vote. She vote. We can 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 vote. I stand here today in solidarity with my sisters, and I have a sharp word for anybody that is running for local, national, or state offices. She can vote. That's all I have to say. If you're not here, she can vote.
Really quickly, hi, it's Miss V. I just want to say, you know, I work in the Mental Health Project Urban Justice Center, also with being the founder of Visionary V. And I just want to say that, you know, last year when we was fighting to close Rikers, one of the biggest things that we ran on was that around 40% of those being held on Rikers Island or just in New York City Department of Corrections at that time were with the mental health concern. Right now, those numbers are half. Half of the people that are in the Department of Corrections have some form of mental health concern. 1 out of 5 New Yorkers has a mental health concern. So when we think about mental illness, mental health concerns, however you want to pronounce it or say it to make you feel comfortable, we have to remember that we're talking about our own people. We're talking about our own communities. We're talking about our own family members, and sometimes we're talking about ourselves, right? So it's not just a them issue, it's a us issue. It's not just a hidden behind the walls issue, it's a community issue. And when we talk about community, we also have to remember that the majority of people in New York State jail system, prison systems come from New York City, right? They are our community. They are part of our 5 boroughs. They are our responsibility to keep advocating for. Mental illness behind the walls is a death sentence. You are not guaranteed to get medical care, period, let alone with the mental health concern. So it is our duty to hold our council members accountable. It is our duty to hold de Blasio accountable. It is our duty to hold Cuomo accountable. Why? Because we are their constituents, and that means something in America. My mother is not buried in a military cemetery for the illusion of equity or justice for all. She's buried in a military cemetery for you, your generations to come, and everyone before you. That means something. We the people mean something, but it doesn't mean nothing if we don't take action. It doesn't mean nothing if we're afraid. It doesn't mean nothing if we hide and we don't stand up to the bullies with badges, whether that's NYPD or DOC members, because they're not peace officers. They're savages. They're not peace officers. They're murderers. They're not peace officers. They're rapists. And if you did not go into the criminal legal system with the mental health condition, I guarantee you, doing cognitive behavioral therapy, working behind the walls for many years, I know for a fact, you will leave behind the walls with a mental health concern. And then you will be even more of the responsibility of the community. So we have to take care of the people behind the walls while they're behind the walls, and when they come home, when they return to our society, when they return to our communities. Re-entry is a big portion of helping someone be a productive citizen. And it does not start the moment they are released. It starts when they are behind the walls. And that includes their mental health care. That includes their medical care. Why are women not being allowed GYN exams? Why are women making rape reports and not being followed up properly by medical staff or mental health staff? Right now, CHS and Rikers was telling DOC that they did not have enough staff doing convoy to actually follow up with any rape victims doing a GYN exam. And I said unacceptable. The community needs to say unacceptable. The community needs to show up at these board of correction hearings. There's another one coming up next to the second Tuesday of July. Everyone here should be online there. Everyone here that spoke should be signed up to speak online on the record and put your stories and hold DOC accountable. Because our council members and our board of corrections, they like to hide behind things that are not put on the record. They like to hide behind the fact that they didn't hear about a story, even if they are aware of the story. So it's our job out in the community to put everything on the record so that we can run up on our council members, so that we can run up on de Blasio, so that we can run up on Cuomo and say, hey, you heard it on the record, and now we're holding you accountable. Mental health is not something to be ashamed of. Mental health means that you have had trauma. Mental health means that you are a part of the vulnerable population that we all should be fighting for. Women, children, the elderly, people with mental health concerns that may or may not cognitively be able to make decisions, they are our responsibilities. They are not for us to push under the rug. They are for us to fight for. They are for us to fight for. Do y'all hear me? Do y'all believe me? Can I count on y'all? A lot of y'all say y'all allies, but I don't see y'all show up when it really counts. It's more than protesting. It's more than coming out for a photo op and holding a banner. It's more than holding a poster. It's actually showing up and doing the work. It's actually lining up when police are approaching us and holding our back, standing our ground. It's actually letting DOC know, I don't care who you think you're scaring. We're showing up in numbers because we're not scared and we're fighting for her. We're speaking for her. We're standing for her. She might not be able to stand up to you, but we can. We're not scared of no bullies with badges. It's our duty to let everybody know that we're American and we're proud to be American, not because someone told you to be American and be proud, because our ancestors built this shit. Our ancestors built this shit, okay? And it's our duty to take care of it, and anybody on domestic soil is our responsibility. It's our responsibility. I don't care if you have a green card or not. If you are on a domestic soil right here, right now, I'm looking out for you because you my people. Black and brown especially, because you my people. And so often we get pushed to the back burner, even with things like this. Even with things like this, it's very easy for us to get pushed to the back burner. But it's our duty to remember the people that are vulnerable. It's our duty to remember our sisters who have been traumatized and raped behind the walls and aren't being loved or respected or even protected. How dare we allow that shit to fester and not fight for them? I'm gonna stop there because I could rant all day. It's our duty to fight for our freedom. I don't believe y'all, so I ain't even gonna continue. Down in here. That's right. It's our duty to fight for our freedom. 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 Freedom! Freedom! For what? Freedom! For what? Freedom! For what? Freedom! Freedom! What do we want? Justice! What do we want? What do we want? There it is. It's also our duty to win. It is our duty to win, and we're going to win. We're going to have a brother come up and speak his experience, his truth, and how he feels about the killings, the brutalizations of women and girls. And I know no other person who could do it as well as Curtis.
One thing I'm gonna say, it's not enough men out here. There's not enough white men out here. There's not enough black men out here. There's not enough black boys out here. There's not enough black girls out here. Bring them out. Bring the children out. Men, represent your mother. Represent your daughter. Represent your aunt. There's a problem when it's not men showing support for our women, because this shows division. Our sisters want the same thing we fought for, equality. And freedom starts first with life. You can't have freedom if you're not living. You can't enjoy freedom if you're not living. You can't enjoy nothing if you cannot breathe. And I'm not talking about just George Floyd. I'm talking about oppression suffocating the hopes of our sisters, suffocating the dreams of our sisters, suffocating democracy for our black girls. Enough is enough. I have no sense of dignity unless I represent for my little girls. And all your politicians, look to your daughters, look to your aunts, look to your mothers, those who gave birth. What, you want to kill a nation? Because they said, treat me with dignity. How long throughout history are we going to say, don't forget about the women? How long? How long are we going to tell our sisters, know your place? Or you less than? Or they got to fight oppressions through CCs on emails in the workforce? Enough is enough. It happens in City Hall. It definitely happens in the NYPD. Our Black women in the NYPD are being oppressed by their own officers. They created fraternities and two-tier systems where they put pressure on other female cops to have sex with them for their own protection. Enough is enough. And what I want to say to your women, hold those men in your life accountable. Hold them accountable. They can't love you if they don't love your life. They can't love you if they don't love your future. How can that be? Where are the men in our families at? And one thing I'm going to say, sisters, have the dignity and respect for yourself, that if the system don't love you, you're going to change it. If that man does not love you to fight for you, change it. But let our struggle be the root cause and let that woman stand by our side and fight for her. Not behind us, not because we said so, but because we love her freedom. And that's what we're out here for, to love freedom for every Black woman. Say her name. 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 Say her name.
All right now, New York, NYC.
Tina Davis.
We're going to come to Rockland now. We're going to go to Rockland. Say her name. All right, Rockland. What about her? What about her? What about her? So everyone, you know, we are setting up to have a moment of silence, and they have balloons there. They are environmentally friendly balloons, so people know that. We've got environmentally friendly balloons so that we don't mess up the atmosphere, the air, the environment. Like, right, we are collective liberation, so we believe, right, in environmental justice, as well as justice reform, as well as racial justice. So we have balloons, those balloons. You brought me out here. Outright. You brought me out here. Horribly, many women who have been brutalized and killed by the police and corrections. That's why we're here today. This is the Justice for Women Task Force. We at Rockland. That is Cheryl Wilkins there in a purple shirt. Cheryl Wilkins is from the Center for Justice of Columbia University, formerly incarcerated woman herself, right? Leader in this movement to end and remove mass incarceration, end criminalization of all people, specifically Black women. There's Reverend Sharon with the sign. I think that's a picture of a woman in her hand. Reverend Sharon is up there. All right, Sharon White Harrigan. They're in Rockland County. Okay, you guys ready? You're gonna do your moment of silence? All right.
Justice for Tina.
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 We're gonna change the narrative.
We're gonna change the narrative.
Lift her up so she can live.
Lift her up so she can live.
We're gonna change the narrative.
We're gonna change the narrative.
Lift her up so she can live.
Lift her up so she can live.
Woo. All right, so my sister, you want to say something?
wish you'd heard me speak.
Like she had a radar on her, and she made me talk to her, and she would listen to me, and I just listened to her so much. That's why I didn't want to really talk. Because like really miss Tina. And it's
Cheryl,
so sad.
can you give
that
her
it happened to her this way. And also,
can you unmute her?
it'll never be forgotten. I'll never forget her. Tina will always come looking for me. Sherry, I gotta talk. They say, okay, Tina, let me stop the car. Let me talk. I'll talk to you. I don't know what happened that day. I think I wasn't around town when that happened. That day. And sometimes I wish I had been around. Maybe I could have talked to her and kept her from going there, but God knows best. It was in God's hands. One thing about this whole episode with her, George Floyd, the rest of those people who lost their lives because of police brutality, we have to stand united. If we don't stand united, more is going to happen over and over again to us. And the wonderful thing about it, as Black people, we're not the only ones who's tired of this. I've gone to many rallies, and there's just as many people, white people there as Black people, because they're tired of it too. And enough is enough. We want justice done for Tina. Justice for Tina. Justice for Tina. Justice for Tina. And I love her family so much. Her daughter, where did her daughter go? Oh, I love this baby so much here. This is my baby, and this is grandma's baby, and I love her. So God bless you all for coming out and supporting. This place should be packed, but one thing about us, we don't like to get up early. So that's why I think it's not packed. If we had had this at 6, 7 o'clock, this park would probably be packed. But we'll do it again because we're not going to stop until we're justice for her. Amen.
Amen.
Justice for Tina.
Justice for Tina.
Justice for Tina.
Justice for Tina.
All right, community, we out here in Rockland County, Spring Valley, New York, and we're standing in honor of Tina Davis, as well as the other almost 400 women who have been murdered in custody. And so we have here Tina Davis's family standing next to her beautiful daughter, Tania, and her husband, Vincent. And we just want to say that we're here for justice for Tina. And we also just want to tell the family that we're here for you. And we stand in support of you, and we stand with you. And although we can never replace your mother, baby girl, that the Justice for Women Task Force, you got a whole lot of aunties in your corner. And we just want to give you a gift from the Justice of Women Task Force to say we love you and we're sorry about what happened to your mother, but we're going to get justice for Tina. Justice for Tina.
Justice for Tina.
Justice for Tina.
Justice for Tina.
All right, Dara, taking over.
All right, everybody, now we're going to go to Long Island. All right, Long Island. I think Serena's out there. Tracy, you guys are going to do your moment of silence.
You need a hug. And we love you. You make sure.
We want to go to Long Island, Lindsay. Lindsay, you got it. We're at Sharon.
Yep, nope, Long Island's video just cut. Hang on.
Oh, okay, okay. You want to go to New York City?
We can do that too. Hang on.
All right, let's go to New York. Donna, we're coming to you. Donna, we're going to do your moment of silence. Moment of silence and release of the environmental balloons. Donna, you ready? So everyone at every site, we're doing a moment of silence, and then we're going to release environmental friendly balloons in honor of the names of the Black women, girls, Black trans who have been brutalized, victimized and killed by police and corrections officers. So moment of silence in New York. Okay, you want to release your balloons? Still doing a moment of silence. Hold on. There you go. Release the balloons. Yes. Say her name. What about her? What about her? What about her? All right. What about her? Do you care? What about her? She's not there. What do we want? Justice. Who is it for? Her, her, her. Who cares about her? We do. We won't go, we won't bend. Women murdered, not just men. That's for all the women. Thank you, New York. Thank you, ladies, women, men. We have Curtis out there. Thank you for supporting us. We will not forget. What about her? We fight for her. We are all here to say, stop killing our people. Stop killing our Black women, girls, and Black trans. Is Donna there? Anybody gonna speak? Are they finished? They're saying goodbyes. I understand.
Let me see if I can get their audio back. Hang on.
All right, let's see. There's Donna. I'm texting her too. Thank you all who have been on Zoom with us. We really appreciate it. I keep getting asked how you can help out. Please send donations. We will get the link out to everyone so that you can make those donations, because we want to do this rally over and over again. As a Galaxy said on the chat, the crowds are going to grow. We want the crowds to grow. We need people to be there. We need resources to do this work. The Justice for Women Task Force is also working on making sure that Governor Cuomo releases all people from prison, jail.
We just want to thank everyone for coming out, and standing up with us to honor, recognize, acknowledge, and value the lives of women and girls, Black women and girls who continue to be harmed, brutalized, raped, murdered in this country. We thank you for showing up. We thank you for letting us know that we are not alone. And so we charge you today, as we leave this place, to never forget. We want you to remember her. We want you to remember us. We want you to remember them. We want you to remember our children. Our children have a right to live. Our children have a right to breathe. The police do not have a right to take our breath. It is not their right. It is not the system's right to keep their feet in our necks. It is not their right to dehumanize us. It is not their right to hurt us. And so as we leave here today, we charge you and we challenge you to continue this fight with us, to continue to honor the lives of Black women and girls in this country. We charge you to stand with us. Stand with us and demand the end of the criminalization of women and girls, the brutalization of women and girls, the murders of women and girls, the rapes of women and girls, the poverty that is violence in our communities. We charge you and we challenge you and we ask you, what about her? 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 What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? And we tell Cuomo, what do we tell Cuomo? There is no wrong answer.
Like Donna said, there is no wrong answer for Cuomo. Tell him all of it, but definitely tell him to free her, free her, free her. Thank you, everyone out there in New York City. We love you. Thank you so much. Rockland County, thank you guys. Thank you, Cheryl and Sharon. Thank you. You did it up. We got to keep moving this forward. To follow our work, please follow us on Twitter at Justice4Women Task TF. I put that in the chat box. Also, if you wish to join us in our work, I put my email in there. Email me and I will get you to the listserv people who will get you on board. We are dedicated and we are moving forward to make sure we get everyone out of prison. We're specifically working on women. I put Governor Cuomo's phone number in there. He has not released any women from prison during this COVID. He promised to release pregnant women. They have not done that. Not one pregnant woman has been released from the jails or detention centers or prisons. This is unacceptable. Public health officials have said, get these people out of these situations. Get them out of jails and prisons. And that's what we're fighting for. Thank you to everyone who was there, who have been moderators and hosts. Tracy, thank you to all our people who spoke and told their stories. We know that every time you tell your story, it is tragic. It is tragedy and it is trauma for people. And we appreciate that. We appreciate Vincent Davis telling a story about his wife and his daughter coming out. We love them. We want to know all the people who spoke. We love you. We will be here in love. We are fighting in love. As it was said, Ms. V said it, right? We got to take care of our mental health. You know, we're fighting for people who have mental health diagnoses, but we ourselves in doing this work, you get some mental health issues and concerns. So take care of yourselves out there. Be careful during this COVID, but know that the work will not stop. We will not stop fighting to make sure that all people released from prisons, all people released from jails, in mass incarceration, in criminalization. We definitely want to stop these brutality and violent killings that police officers and corrections officers are doing. And when we say police officers, we mean transit cops, housing authority police officers, FBI, CIA, DEA, FAFT, all the law enforcement, sheriffs, all of y'all out there, stop it. Stop killing our people. I want to thank everyone for being here today. Again, also follow our hashtags. What about her? We fight for her. Those are the hashtags to follow. Follow us on social media. We will be having another rally to cover some other issue areas. So please look for us. Please join us again on Zoom, Facebook Live. And please, if you're in the New York area, go out in person, but we want you to make sure you practice the safety that's put forward during COVID, which is social distancing and wearing your masks. We who want to live and we want others to live are wearing our masks in public. So we want to make sure you do that. Lindsay, are we going anywhere else? Did Long Island come back up?
No, it looks like they overheated, but.
Oh, gotcha. Oh yeah, it is hot out there. It is hot out there. Understood. Does Cheryl want us to come back to Rockland, or she left too there, I think?
I think we're all disconnecting. I think they're all wrapping up.
Well, it's 12:30. I understand that. We did a good 90 minutes. Thank you all for staying with us. Again, follow us on @Justice4Women TF on Twitter. Our hashtag is What About Her? Hashtag We Fight for Her. And again, we're going to send out a link to make donations. Donations. Money makes the world go round. Money also helps us to make sure we get people out of these situations. So again, fight for our freedom, fight for our children. fight for us to stop being brutalized, victimized, and harmed and killed by police officers and correction officers. I'm gonna ask Lindsay, are we gonna close up now?
Sounds like a plan. Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you, everyone. We're gonna save the chat box, Lindsay, before we, I think I saved it. Okay.
Okay, good.
I saved it. Thank you, everyone. Wherever you are in the country, please stay safe. Peace and blessings. We're out.